Morning, everyone. It is 8:31 a.m. and I am calling to order this meeting, our special meeting today of the Fargo Board of Education. Before we get started, I will look for a motion to approve our agenda.
I move approval of the agenda as presented.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion from Robin and a second from Ally. Any questions? Okay, all in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Any opposition, same sign. Okay, so that passes. It looks like we have 7 in the room right now, correct? Well, I guess Nikki's on. So Nikki and Jason just joined us online. All right, so number 2 on the agenda here is the purpose of the meeting. The reason that we are meeting today is to make sure that all board members are on the same page and that we can approve some items from Ray and Associates. If you take a look at our meeting agenda here, numbers 4, 5, and 6 will actually need motions and we will need approval for those. So we're obviously going to go through the introductions and talk about things, but as we go through here, as a group, we'll decide how we want these things to look. We have ideas that we'll present, but we also want to make sure that we have motions for those. Are there any questions about the purpose of the meeting? Okay, let's go ahead and move on to number 2 then, where we have introductions. So I will go ahead and turn it over to Molly and Dan. If you'd like to introduce yourselves to us and tell us a little bit about Ray and Associates.
Thank you. My name is Molly Sportsoff. I'm the Vice President of Leadership and Acquisitions with Ray and Associates. They've been stuck with me for about 11 years now. And I'm in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Well, outside of Cedar Rapids, Iowa. It's a super tiny little town with one stoplight that I guarantee no one has heard of before. But we are just thrilled to be working with you all again. And it was super fun to reconnect with Anne Marie and to chat with Kate and get to know her as well. So we're looking forward to getting to know the rest of you. With that being said, I like to go first because Dan is amazing. And as soon as I start talking, I sound like the teacher from Snoopy. So I'm going to turn it over to Dan so you can get to know the lead on your search.
Good morning and welcome. Thank you so much for being a part of Fargo Public Schools and allowing us permission to work with you and for you. I'm Dan Bittman. Molly underestimates her ability. She's amazing and we're grateful to have her serve along with us. I will be your lead and I'll be available obviously 24/7. I'm a former superintendent as of Friday. I retired after 15 years as superintendent, and I worked with your current superintendent for years on the AASA governing board. So I'm aware of a lot of the great things that are happening in Fargo and certainly excited to be part of that. Formerly was an assistant commissioner as well as a number of other roles, and really got to know your superintendent through the Superintendent of the Year process, as I was Superintendent of the Year for Minnesota in 2016. So again, really looking forward to being a part of this board and this search process. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much. Do we actually want to go around each board member, maybe introduce yourselves, say how long you've been on the board, and share the committees that you're on? That's all. We don't need any other updates beyond that. So, Kristen, do you want to start?
Hi, I'm Kristen Nelson. I was just elected in June. I serve on the Government Affairs Committee, Communication, Education, Advocacy, and Negotiations.
Good morning. My name is Melissa Berkland, and I am on the Negotiations Committee, the Governance Committee, and the Planning Committee.
Good morning. I'm Greg Clark. I've been on the board for 2.5 years. I am chair of the Planning Committee, and I am also on the Governance Committee.
Robin Nelson, good morning. I have been elected 5 times since 2003. I chair the Government Affairs Committee and serve on the Governance and Planning Committee. Thank you.
Yeah, and good morning. I'm Katie Christensen. This is my 3rd year on the school board. I'm currently the school board president. So I serve on governance and then also negotiations and governmental affairs. Namal?
I'm Yamal Day. This is my 3rd years. I am on Governmental Affairs, Planning Committee, and CEA. Thank you.
Hi there, Allie Olenberger. I was just elected here in June. I am on the Communication, Education, and Advocacy Committee, the Negotiations Committee. And GAC, thank you. I was like, the governmental affairs. I'm looking at Robin and I was like, the words are not coming to
Yeah.
me. Sorry, not enough coffee yet this morning. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. How about Nikki?
Good morning. I am Nikki Gullickson. I've just begun my second term, and I serve on the Communications, Engagement, and Advocacy. I chair that committee. I'm on the governance and negotiations team.
Thank you. And how about Jason?
Good morning. Jason Nelson was elected this past June and on the planning committee and the communication committee.
Okay, thank you so much. Is there anything else, Molly and Dan, you want to talk about, or can we move into number 4 on our agenda?
No, I just want to tell Nikki that I share your pain. My Keurig stopped working today, so I'm also caffeine deprived. So.
Uh-oh.
But I just want to thank each of you for introducing yourselves. We appreciate that. And again, we're grateful for the opportunity to partner.
Okay, great. So let's go ahead and move on to number 4, the search timeline. So Anne Marie, Molly, and I were able to meet and kind of talk through some of our initial plans. And I do want the board to be very, very aware of the fact that we do have a timeline in mind that we think would work really well for our district and also would get us the best candidates. And I want to give a huge, huge shout out to Anne Marie for having us so prepared moving into this. The only way that we're really able to achieve this timeline is because she had done so much homework and had everything really ready to go for us when I showed up in that meeting with Molly. And I know Molly can attest to that. She asked questions and we were like, boom, 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 we got this. So we are on a great timeline here. So I don't know, Molly or Anne Marie, do one of you want to explain to the board what we're looking at? And then we'll see if we can get a motion.
Molly, do you want to go for it or do you want me?
Sure. No, I would love to. And I do just want to piggyback off of what Katie just mentioned. I don't know, we work with school boards all across the country all the time. You have such a star in Anne Marie. And Katie knows this. I would love to try to steal her.
No, thank you.
I'm very open about it.
Mute her.
She's ours.
She's wonderful. Katie, mentioned it when we came to that meeting. I was like, okay. And I have my standard checklist of what all we need. And Anne Marie's like, oh, I have that. Oh, I have that. Yep, let me get that for you. I have it right here. And it was just amazing to work with her. So it's exciting to work with her again, but she's just a rock star. So wanted to give her a major shout out. The timeline that we're looking at is a little bit shorter than the standard timeline, but it doesn't impact your search. And I want to show you why we're moving the train down the tracks a little bit faster than what would be typical, I think, what would be expected. So normally we get to know, there's a little bit more of a get to know you period. With this situation, we wanted to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, and there's a reason behind it. We wanted to get started and meet with you all today. And then we ultimately want to start recruitment coming up here on the 20th. So pretty quickly, but we will still be doing the get to know you phone calls or Zoom sessions. It would just be during recruitment rather than before starting recruitment. And the reason why we're trying to expedite that a little bit is that we see 4 times the traffic on our website over Thanksgiving and Christmas break. So it would be doing you all a disservice as your consultant. I didn't share, there's an opportunity to get a lot more people viewing your opening and a lot more people taking the time to fill out the application. For some reason, and Dan can probably attest to this, superintendents are not good at resting and taking time off. So when they have these breaks, it's like they start moving through, hearing network, reaching out, advertising, and a lot of them, favorite the search recruiters websites just to see what's out there, see what's open. But we see 4 times the traffic over Christmas and Thanksgiving break. So we really wanted to share that opportunity with you all and give you a chance to evaluate whether that was something you wanted to take advantage of. The timeline, I believe you should have a timeline in front of you, kind of looks like this guy. Does everybody have that?
Yes, we have that.
Wonderful. Okay. So we will be getting started today, getting to meet with you all. You've got the agenda in front of you to see what we're trying to accomplish. And then what would happen is tomorrow, Dan and I would reach out to our database of associates. So we have about 50 amazing people, very similar to Dan Bittman across the country, that are sitting superintendents, former superintendents, legal or former board members. We have found, we've all seen the news articles out there about a shortage of superintendents across the country. There's not necessarily a shortage. It's the good ones have great spots and they don't really want to leave. Instead of looking at those that are maybe have a buyout in the works or are not in a position right now, we found using our network of those folks and reaching out to people that know one another, it really helps with the quality, but it also helps with finding the right fit for the district because it becomes personal for us with our associates. So we would be using that database tomorrow to start reaching out to folks, letting them know here's the salary, here's the position, here's what we're looking at for a timeline. And then ultimately we would be opening the application on December 20th. And Anne Marie, again, has been wonderful getting materials put together for us, getting everything ready to roll so that it's not a rushed process. It's very planned. Everything is put together. That would be going on the 20th. We would have that open until February 2nd. So up until February 2nd, you probably wouldn't hear a whole lot from us aside from Dana and I reaching out to do the one-on-one interviews with each of you. But other than that, we would be giving weekly updates. And so we'll check with probably Katie or Anne Marie or the full board, since we have you, of what day you all would like to get those weekly updates. I can't share names or districts, but I would be sharing just a Cliff Notes version of what your candidate pool looks like. And if for some reason we weren't seeing the traffic we needed, we would come back to you and say, okay, here's a plan B for recruitment. What are your thoughts on blah, 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 blah. We very rarely have that happen, but we just like to make sure we keep in constant communication with our contacts on the board and the district contact. So I guess I should probably stop there real quick since I'm rambling. Is there a day of the week that you all would like to have updates sent to you?
I'm gonna
And
let
this would be-
I'm gonna let Anne Marie answer that question.
Would we want that associated with your board meetings, and we can give an update at board meetings under reports section under superintendent search update? That's
Yeah.
what we did in the past, where then I would share that update that Molly had for us of how many applicants you have at that time, what states they're hailing from, things of that nature. I'm seeing some head nods. Molly, would that work? Every 2 weeks, kind of in January and February, or it'd be January.
You just let me know. You just let me know what days you want those, and I'll put them on my calendar and make sure that they are in your inbox.
Yeah, so you can communicate to her our school board meeting dates, so then she'll know. Okay, yep, that sounds like a good plan.
Perfect. Okay. Wonderful. Okay. So then on February 2nd, that would be the deadline where we would begin screening and vetting your candidates. There's going to be a little bit of dead time between the 2nd and the 18th. That is where we are screening, vetting, checking references that are both listed and those that are not listed to find you the best candidate. You would get access to materials ahead of time before we meet with you on the 18th. So the 18th is on a Sunday. We would probably send them out that Friday, the 16th. We would need everybody to sign a confidentiality document. Anne Marie kind of knows there's very few hills I will die on. That's one hill that I will. We need everyone to sign that confidentiality document or I can't send it out to anybody. So we would just need you to sign that. You would get everything in an email. So you would have links to view the Spark Hire videos, which is our one-way video where you can watch the candidates that we've screened and are recommending, answer questions. It's about 90 minutes per question. There's 3 questions. And you would also get to see all of their application materials and all of their information that they submitted along with that. You will also have access to every single completed application. So if there's somebody in there that you know or you've heard about or saw speak at a conference that you're curious about, they're not off the table. You can certainly bring them to the discussion and we will tell you, hey, this is what happened before, or we found this in their history. But ultimately, you all will have full control over who you bring in for interviews. That meeting that's highlighted in yellow on the 18th, that is a long meeting. It is about a 4-hour long meeting. So I would ask that everybody check their personal, professional calendars, make sure that day works for them, and see if we can't nail down a time today to get that set on calendars. And we can do that either in the evening or we can do it midday, we can do it morning. You tell us what works for you all. But it would be mandatory for all board members to attend that meeting.
Molly, the 18th is a Tuesday.
We're going to be in Bismarck.
Yeah.
Looking at 25, good Lord, you are correct.
So our board will be in Bismarck for a legislative meeting that day on the 18th specifically. But looking at the crowd here, they're all looking at their calendars intently. So I don't know if we can shimmy that day. Mike, please.
Mike, please. All right, Mike. We could probably do that week because we're coming back.
We'll be in Bismarck through Wednesday, right, Robin?
No, we go down on Monday night for the social, and of course, that's President's Day, so we don't want our staff to work that day. And then I'm planning on coming back Tuesday
Tuesday
afternoon.
night, okay.
Yeah.
Madam Chair, members of the board, if I could, two things. One, I can be flexible in terms of date and location, so whatever works best for the board. I'm also happy to come to Bismarck to you if you would like to post it there, if it's easier since you're all going to be there. And then finally, just one comment to compliment Molly's. Part of the one-on-one interviews that I'll do with each of you is to get a better understanding of what you're looking for. And at that time, I'll also be questioning if you have any identified candidates that you'd be interested in learning more about throughout the country or even internally. That's an opportunity where Molly and I will actively talk with and recruit those candidates if they're a good fit for you. So again, know that you have complete flexibility there.
Oh, go ahead, Robin.
Thank you so much. That's very kind of you to offer to come to Bismarck. That is such an unpredictable time of year that last year we had to cancel just due to a snowstorm. So I think it would be more prudent to schedule something maybe on Wednesday.
And we can certainly do that.
Well, but
We would still-
you don't have to listen to me. I mean, how does the board feel about that?
I mean, that's what I was going to suggest would be Wednesday or Thursday instead. Honestly, I'd almost want to do Thursday if that worked, because if we are going to be coming home from Bismarck on Tuesday, we don't know if we're going to get home.
Lots of ifs.
Like last year.
Evening, day, what is?
Thursday would have to be during the day. That's for me.
I'm fine with that.
And that will be in closed session. That will be a closed session meeting.
Could we do, I see people looking. Could we do Thursday morning?
I have another meeting
available.
scheduled that morning, but I can
just-
probably get out of it.
Okay.
Just want to clarify, we're talking Thursday, February 20th?
Yeah, good. Let's make sure we're on that date. Thursday, February 20th. So maybe you said about 4 hours. Like, what if we did like an 8 to noon?
I can make that work.
I'm open that day.
Thank you. Ally and Namal,
Yes, I would have to be done by 2 p.m. that
Okay.
day.
you're good, Namal?
Could we do 8:30?
I think that's
Would
fine.
Okay.
I don't know if Molly and Dan heard that. We had a suggestion of 8:30.
Maybe 8:30 to
would be
12:30.
That'd be great.
8:30 on the 20th. I will, that will be in closed session. You'll just open and then go into, because it'll be
Yep.
per state law, those can all be reviewed in executive session. So I'll locate a room and let you all know about that.
Perfect. We will still plan on sending materials out to you all on the 16th. So please keep an eye out on your email for that day, but we will send everything out pending those confidentiality documents being signed.
Okay.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, so at that time, during that meeting, we'll be reviewing all the candidate information. There will be a consensus building matrix, and it's not a ranking. Well, it is a ranking, but it doesn't determine who you are interviewing. It helps open the door for dialogue and discussion. So we would be doing that. Ultimately, you would be determining your first round candidates and interviews. Currently we have the interview set for the week of 2/24. We have it set for the week of because we don't know how many you're going to want to interview, and if it's going to want to be 2 on one day, 3 on 3 days, however you want to have that spread out. So please look at your calendars and see just make sure there is some flexibility within that week. I would say probably about 2 or 3 days, if at all possible, just worst case scenario.
Could you give us a little information on like approximately how many people and how long would each interview be?
So typically there's about 6 interviews per first round, sometimes more, sometimes less. It just depends on who you are interested in, but I would say right around the 6 mark. And typically those interviews last about an hour each.
Okay, so are you thinking we would maybe try to block off like 2 mornings or 2 afternoons, and then that we would do like 3 in each block?
It's up to you guys ultimately, but I've had some districts do all in one day. I've had some do 2 interviews for 3 days. I've had 3 interviews for 2 days. It's what you guys feel comfortable with without getting burned out.
In 2018, for that round, we did 2 different days, kind of late afternoon, kind of into the evening. One we did 2, and another day we did 3 or 4.
Okay.
And this would be with the full board doing interviews, so
Yes.
all 9 of us would be doing that interview?
Mhm.
Correct.
And that-
It would be like 1 question per board member kind of thing?
Can we talk about the questions? Legally, we have to ask the same question of every candidate, as do the community groups. Is that right?
We'd want to keep those the same, yes.
Yes. So they're going to be pre-arranged questions.
Okay.
And we will determine those questions during the meeting on the 20th. And we will also be assigning out questions. Typically, there's about 1 to 2 questions per board member, and then the board chair opens and closes the interview with each candidate.
And those interviews would also be able to be held in executive session.
Are those recorded then, so we're able to kind of go back and look at them again, or no?
They would be recorded for state law, for state law purposes, but you guys would discuss each candidate after those
After the
interviews.
interviews,
Yeah.
okay.
So when I look for my schedule for that week of February 24th, I'm actually I look like I'm quite flexible. So let's hear feedback from others on what we'd want to block off.
I can move around anything to make it work.
Okay.
Same for that week.
That is a board meeting week, just so Molly and Dan know as well. We have a board meeting on the evening of the 25th, so obviously that evening you are already scheduled, but
And we'd have to be present because we're in executive session, so it's not a virtual thing.
Correct. I think we should all be present.
For executive sessions, I think we have to.
I would encourage you all to be in the same room for good conversation amongst yourselves.
So
And that week is good for me. I'm flexible all week, except I will be traveling probably Friday to Dallas.
do we want to stack some interviews before the board meeting since we'll be here anyways? Or is that? I just figure if I'm here, I
Yeah.
might as well be here, you know?
I mean, I'm not opposed to that if we want to do something that afternoon and then try to end by like 5 so you can grab food or whatever and then.
Yeah, like start at noon or whatever.
Okay. Yes, Namal?
Anyway, that would be a long day for me. I just wish that we can be more flexible on that day. Well, as a new mom, so I'm trying to make sure that I can have a babysitter arrange and then be able to be present for everybody. So I just wanted to make sure that if we can be flexible a bit more and instead of like the whole day, then through the whole evening for board meetings. So just want to put it out there.
Yeah, 5 hours of interviews followed by a board meeting sounds like
Torture?
a long. Well, and that would be for me after like 5.5 hours of work. So
Okay, we can how about not Tuesday then maybe?
Do we want to try to block off like a couple days right now? Like
Yes, I do think we should block off. So if we want to avoid Tuesday, how do we feel about like Wednesday, Thursday?
I think that would be fine.
Yeah,
I would still prefer evenings, I think.
I'll be flexible on that,
yeah, I
when
would
it's-
probably also prefer evenings, but I think I can make whatever work.
I'm on grandma duty in the evenings, so I'm on the other end of the spectrum. I'm all. So I have childcare for the grandkids during those days, but not in the evenings.
Can we do afternoons?
Yeah, I could do Wednesday and Thursday evenings are probably the worst days of the week for evenings, but otherwise I could make a lot work.
I mean, could we do like noon to 4 or noon to 5 on Wednesday and Thursday and just block those off right now? I don't, Anne Marie, does that work with you?
Thursday evening may not work for me because I may have to travel that day.
Okay, what time would you be leaving?
I'm guessing probably in the afternoon. I don't know. I haven't looked into flights yet, but I'm guessing 1, 2, 3-ish.
Okay.
Can we do Monday and Wednesday, or did we have?
Well, wondering, Rain Associates, do you come here or do you join us online? Because if you're here, we obviously want these things like back-to-back days.
Right. With it being said that we are having the meeting on the 20th initially, I'm wondering what
Oh.
everybody's thoughts are with the first round of interviews being virtual with your candidates, or do you feel very passionate about having them in person for that first round?
Oh,
Because that could really impact that meeting on Monday
that's a good.
being in person with.
Virtual for our first round is totally fine with me. Like, we do not need to bring 6 to 8 people to
Okay.
Fargo.
Yes. Wonderful.
In
Okay,
February.
That opens the door. So then typically Dan and I would be virtual unless you would like us there in person, and then we can certainly do so.
I'm good with virtual because then I think more than anything, I think it'll work and it's giving us a little more flexibility with our scheduling. Yes, Robin?
Quick question. So there's going to be a lot of travel. Do the candidates pay for their own travel to come here and
No.
interview?
No, so it is reimbursed by the district.
Okay.
Yeah. No alcohol. And I will tell you, I've never had a single candidate do like a steakhouse, Ritz-Carlton hotel. I mean, everyone is very respectful. So
I'd arranged places for them to stay. We did in 2018, had places for them to stay.
Okay, so let's get back to this since we don't have to, so Nikki, Thursday afternoon does not work for you either.
What about
At least at this point.
Thursday morning?
Yeah, what about if we did Wednesday afternoon? Yeah, Wednesday afternoon and Thursday morning. What if we blocked off those 2 times?
I think that could work.
So which
I'll
date?
just book it so that it does work.
So like Wednesday the 26th, what if we do 8:30 to 12:30? And then, no, wait a minute, sorry, I was gonna do afternoon then, sorry. Noon to 4 on the 26th. And then the 27th would be 8:30 to 12:30.
Okay.
Would you guys be open just to
One more
block
time,
to
Katie.
5 on the 26th, just
Sure.
in case we have some wiggle room?
Yeah, I'm totally fine with that.
And then what did you say for the 27th?
Like in 8 to noon, 8 to 1, 8:30, what time, starting times in the morning?
If we could just block off that 8 to noon,
Yep.
if not a little bit more, just to, again, it would be dependent on how many people that you want to do that interview with.
Should we just block 8 to 1 and then it can be shorter, but we'll have it if needed?
I'll work on locations here again.
Okay.
Those days.
So to repeat, that is Wednesday, February 26th, block off noon to 5, and Thursday, February 27th, block off 8 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Is I have to get kids to school on Thursday morning, so if it's 8:30, that's like infinitely easier for me.
Okay,
I was just
8:30.
gonna say the same thing, Melissa.
Okay, 8:30 to 1 p.m. on that morning.
I mean, unless we could influence the start of school, we could, maybe.
Maybe we'll have a snow day. Okay, Jason and Nikki, does that work for both of you?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Okay,
Yes, it does.
all right.
Okay, so then the next week we're going to be doing second round of interviews, and these are going to look a little bit different because these will be in person. And what we recommend is an all-day schedule for each candidate. So we're looking at probably about 3 candidates is what is typical, 2 to 3, but I would say 3 just to be safe. You do not need to block off all 3 days though. We typically would recommend, and we can send some sample schedules, but what we would typically recommend is having the candidate and their spouse do district tours, meet with your stakeholder groups, and then we would have the board do an evening interview on each of those 3 days. So if at all possible, I would ask you all to look at the 25th, 26th, and 27th. Oh, I'm sorry, that's March. We'd be looking at March 4th, 5th, and 6th, if at all possible, those evenings.
So Anne Marie.
Yeah, so Molly in 2000.
I'm-
Uh-oh.
What, Jason?
I was just gonna say, I'm in Sioux Falls for work that Wednesday and Thursday.
Molly, in 2018, we had an interview schedule where the candidate met with the board first thing in the morning, and then they met with them again in the evening.
Okay.
And with the other interview groups during the day, ad hoc committee was supportive of that again. Obviously, we have time to work that all out. But
I support that because that they're going to go through a long day that's going to be emotionally draining. I want to see them at their freshest in the morning and then in the evening for the dinner or whatever. That's my opinion.
Was Emery, refresh my brain, was it just like a kind of a meeting breakfast, kind of just chit chatting, and then the formal interview in the evening?
no, the formal interview was that was the first intergroup that they met with. It was a formal
Okay.
interview at 8:30 or 10, 8:30 or 9. And then, so they met with the board for, I want to say, I could pull it up, but about 2 hours. And then they moved through the other groups, and then they met kind of reverse of what you just were suggesting. They met with the board in the evening for like a social and kind of got the, what did you think? How did it go? What do you think of our district type? And so they bookended with the board.
Perfect. Yeah, we can do either option.
Okay, so Jason, what dates did you say you were in Sioux Falls?
That Wednesday and Thursday, so the 5th and 6th, right? in the week.
Is that flexible?
No, I'm sorry.
Just want to check.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. Pass.
Molly and Dan, will you need to be there for these?
Yes. So one of us will be boots on the ground, just to help facilitate, make sure the candidates get to where they need to be, kind of be their concierge, essentially, getting them around. And helping us, there's, especially with the focus groups or the different forums, we would want to be there just moderating and making sure that everything, same questions are being asked of each candidate and all those fun things.
So the goal is to make our choice prior to spring break. When is spring break?
It's the next week.
It's the week of the 17th. And just for all board members, the reason why we're attempting to get this accomplished before spring break is that there's spring break for a week, obviously in the 17th. Then when you come back shortly thereafter, you go to NSBA, and then shortly after that is Easter break, so we kind of have to be cognizant of the calendar a bit to make sure we get this. And in addition, you'll be in the middle of the legislative time and most likely the start of negotiations as well. So just trying to keep all of those balls in the air at the same time.
So we're looking at the week of the
Jason,
10th.
Would the 10th work?
Jason, what time would you have to leave on Wednesday the 5th? Or yes, the 5th.
5 a.m.
Oh,
I need to be in Sioux Falls by 8 a.m.
okay. I was hoping we could get you in that morning. We can.
Hang on a second, Molly here. So the spring break starts the 17th, correct?
Correct, yep.
I mean, would we want to consider the 10th, 11th, and 12th?
That's a board meeting night.
I will tell you guys, you run the risk of losing candidates. As your consultant, when you have a break in between first and second round like that, even though it just seems like a week, that's going to be prime recruitment time. You're going to be competing with other districts. So it makes me nervous that if we've got candidates in other pools, I don't want you to have somebody drop out at the 11th hour.
Could we do that Monday, like 3rd and 4th, or 3rd, 4th, 7th?
Yeah.
Like skip out, like block off Wednesday, Thursday, since Jason can't do it.
But then Dan and Molly would be staying an extra 2 days.
And we can't really combine two on one day and then have one on one, because then you get into the gray area of unfair advantage or
Can we do the 28th, 3rd, and 4th, or is that kind of putting us in the same?
it's kind of putting it in the same spot, unfortunately. What about
You wouldn't be able to turn around to get somebody here on the 28th either when
Okay.
you've just interviewed them
That's
on
true.
I mean, could we just plan 3rd, 4th, and have like the 6th as a auxiliary if we happen to have a third candidate?
You have to, by state law, name 3 or more finalists. If not, then they all become public information. It's 3 or more in state law.
I almost hate to jump in with this, but I don't know if the 3rd will work for me. because we're going for a cheer comp and they perform the night, Sunday night, that second. So we probably wouldn't fly back until the 3rd. But knowing that, I could, if we needed an afternoon or something, I don't know if.
Well, I know it's not ideal. And again, we have sample schedules, but what's everybody's thoughts about having just a long day on the 4th? And we would have all 3 candidates in the district, and it would essentially be a round robin style of this person would be in point A, this, just essentially round robin. They would never overlap, but then we would have, it would be a full day for the board because there would be at least 3 formal interviews. And we could do various meals in between if you still wanted to have like that social aspect.
I don't like the round robin. I think that having done this will be my 5th search. I know I keep saying that, but they need to have a full day. And we need to not be rushed. I mean, I am prioritizing this because it's my obligation as a school board member to make this work. So I will do everything I can to accommodate your schedules.
Going back to the week of the 10th, does that work for everybody on the board to be able to meet the 10th, 11th, and 12th? I know that puts obviously a week in between the interview searches, but if we want to make sure that we're giving the best experience to the candidates and that we're all going to be able to be here and be present, I mean, I think that's the right way to go about it.
What if we backed up the virtual, like, would it be a disadvantage to move the first round virtual interviews to the week of the 3rd and then do finalist 10th, 11th, 12th?
I'm not trying to get into the weeds on this one, but if we have the deadline on the 2nd and we start screening and vetting those that we know are going to move forward, Dan's probably visioning kicking into the table right now if we're in the same room. If we bumped that semi-meeting, which is currently have for the 20th, what if we bump that up a week earlier? The week sometime within the 10th.
Okay,
And
so
then we did first round interviews the week of the 17th. And then we did the finals interviews that last week of February.
The week of the 17th, we're in Bismarck though, with President's Day.
but we're back.
So
I
that
mean,
would we could do like the virtual interviews like the 19th, 20th, or 21st even.
and then maybe aim for the in-person like the 26th or 27th. I don't know, is that enough?
I'm off the 2 p.m. on Thursday is like the absolute latest that I can go. It's Squirt International that weekend.
Which weekend?
The week of the 20th. So the 20th at 2 p.m. Like those are, I can't.
But you could do virtual interviews that morning, right?
Up until 2 p.m. Yep.
Yeah.
On the 20th.
So
We did like an 8:30, 12:30 again.
Yeah, but so like the 21st would be off from me, but yes, up to the 20th at 2 p.m. I can.
Okay, so should we start over? So should we look at, so we thinking like the 13th or 14th for the 4-hour meeting with the consultants to determine semifinalists?
And if at all possible, if we could do it the 13th, the 14th is a little bit
Sure.
tough for my schedule.
So how does it look for everybody for the 13th for at least a 4-hour time block to meet virtually with like board members in a room, but virtually with Molly and Dan to determine semifinalists?
That works for me.
So
Could
February,
you do the 12:30 again?
8:30 to 12:30 works for me.
so February 13th, 8:30 to 12:30. How does that look for everyone? Seeing heads nods? Seeing
That
head nods?
For me,
Yes.
That works.
Okay, so then we'd move into the next week, the week of the 17th, knowing that we're off on the 17th, board is in Bismarck on the 18th, so would we be looking at like the Wednesday, Thursday, the 19th, Thursday morning, so 19th in the afternoon, Thursday morning for semifinalists interviews?
I'm still in Bismarck on the 19th, but I could, is that the one we need to be in the room?
Yeah. Can you come back? Debbie, afternoon.
That's for the State School Board Association. That's part of the.
I mean, can you attend that virtually?
No, because that's in person at the Capitol.
Could we do Thursday, Friday, 20th, 21st?
Nope.
It's really.
Oh, that's right,
that
that you're off.
Squirt
Thursday
into
Thursday
that
is my
Friday.
cutoff, sorry.
So hearing back to February 19th in the afternoon, 20th in the morning. Nikki, is there any way to shimmy that schedule at all?
The 19th
Mm-hmm.
in the afternoon. I would have to check with them because this is the first time they've done this event.
Okay, so Nikki, when did you say you're not available?
Well, for our school board, we are in Bismarck the night of the 17th and the 18th.
Correct.
For the state school board, we are there the 18th and the 19th.
Okay, could we do a full day on, you can't do a full day on the 20th, can you, Allie?
Yeah, I gotta be done by 2 p.m. I mean, I can see how far I can push it. I don't know when opening ceremonies are. The problem is that I'm the coach and team manager, so I have to be there to sign all the paperwork and do all the stuff. So
How about Wednesday evening?
the 19th I can do whatever.
I think, well, Nikki, will you still be in Bismarck?
No, but I'm like triple booked that night for all kinds of other things.
Okay,
Are these interviews like 1 hour long each?
yes.
Could we do like a really heavy Thursday?
Allie has to be done by 2.
Right, but like,
6 hours, like start at 7:30.
yeah,
So
I can do that.
these first round interviews, right? These are virtual.
Correct.
They're recorded. They're literally scripted, right? We have to ask the same
We
questions.
would ask the same questions, correct?
Correct.
Is it safe to conclude then that not every board member must be present?
We'd want you there, and you would need to determine the finalists after your conversation, right? After your interviews, then we need to determine. Yeah, then we'll need to have some time to determine who you're moving to that next round. Yeah.
So,
Okay.
but wouldn't that only have to be after all of the semifinalists have been interviewed that we make that decision?
Yeah, but
together?
you're probably going to do it that day because then we're going to talk that the next week we're bringing people here. So yeah.
So if we are thinking 2 separate meetings to have semifinalist interviews, theoretically, we only need everyone at the last one. If we do a first one and someone can watch the recording,
I would highly encourage you all to be in the same place at the same time.
I understand that, but it sounds like we have conflicts somewhere.
Can
That
I jump in?
Yep.
The state school board thing is done at 11:30. So the afternoon of the 19th will work if I can do it virtually.
How do we feel about that?
I think it's more important that we're all there, whether we're physical or virtual, as long as we're not breaking any state laws by doing it that way.
Our practice in the past has been to not allow anybody in executive session to participate virtually because we don't know who's in the room.
True. Yeah.
So I think we should continue to follow that practice.
Can we do, I'm sorry, I can't remember everybody's everything. Can we do, if Nikki is done by 11 or whatever it was, can we do an evening? Or Nikki, you have things on Wednesday evening?
Yeah. Wednesday evening.
Hey
Nikki,
guys, I know it's not popular opinion, but we've done it before. How about a Saturday, the 15th? Just knock it out in one day.
I
It's a
can
long day.
I can do weekends.
Well, I can normally do weekends, but I think the 17th is a holiday, right? So that the 15th gets really tricky with that, doesn't it? I mean, normally a Saturday would be fine, but considering that it's a 3-day weekend. Because we're looking to schedule an interview on that day too, is that what we're saying?
what about the 22nd of February? That's not on a holiday weekend.
but then to get folks there in person that following week is gonna be really,
Yeah, we have to have a couple
Burning.
days to get all of the arrangements to get them here. It
Yeah.
takes just a bit of finagling, if you can imagine. Okay, I'm gonna say something that might not feel super great, but I think we are going to have to, like, is there an area where you can, where anybody on the board with their with their schedules can give a little bit? I mean, we might have to skip something, you might have to reschedule something. I know it's not ideal, but we're really getting into kind of a messy situation here where we're just not gonna be able to get this done on the timeline that I think we need to get the best candidate.
Is
I
it-
cannot miss or move, the 2 dates I'm in Sioux Falls. I apologize. Otherwise, everything else I can move around. I almost feel like, we need to talk about, Ally brought up the following week, the 10th. I mean, with all the other complications, I know it's not ideal, but that might be our only option.
Jason, what time is your meeting done on March 4th and the 5th?
Thursday night, it'll be 5 o'clock, and then I'm driving back to Fargo.
Okay. What about Thursday? I mean, yeah, on the March 4th.
I'll be in Sioux Falls.
I understand that, but I'm
He's gone all day, 4, 5, and 6. He leaves at 5 a.m.
yeah,
He's
but I'm
gone the
just-
5th and the 6th.
Oh,
And
he's
the
gone the
6th,
5th
yeah.
and the 6th.
So, but
And
you said that
actually-
you are done, right, at 5?
Yeah,
Yes,
but I'll
he's
be
in
in Sioux
Yeah, then
Falls.
you're gonna be in
Talk
Sioux
about not attending virtually.
Yeah.
attend.
That makes sense.
So I know Molly had potentially mentioned like the round robin on the 4th, which I know is not an ideal thing, but if we had 3 candidates, could we do like 1 on the 3rd and 2 on the 4th, or 2 on the 3rd and 1 on the 2 on the 3rd and 1
I
on?
wouldn't recommend that, Katie, just in case we get in the preferential treatment. If
Okay.
somebody doesn't get the job, it gives them ground to stand on to say that they were given an unfair opportunity.
Okay.
I'm going to jump in here. We are hiring the consultants to give us advice, and I think we need to follow their advice as much as possible. We have never had this many conflicts in the past. I think that some things can be prioritized differently. I'm not going to name names, but I think we need to try to make it work.
Okay, so
Can
gonna,
we back anything in the process up earlier to allow us earlier time?
I mean, that's,
I'm already bumping up that semi-meeting to the 13th, and that's gonna be crunched for us. I can't crunch it anymore. I'm really sorry. For us, screening and vetting that's the foundation. If I give you a candidate and it comes out later that somebody in your stakeholder or your community finds something we didn't find, that falls on me. And I just don't wanna risk that. I'm very sorry. We have to do our due diligence with the background checks.
What do we decide about Saturday?
throwing another, I'm sorry, Kristen, what did you say there?
What did we decide about Saturday?
the 15th.
Yeah.
And Saturday works for me.
Well, I think the turnaround, wasn't that where the turnaround was really quick, and it's a holiday weekend, which
Do we have any wiggle room on that Wednesday evening? I'm sorry, the 19th. I'll be more clear.
Nikki had conflicts. I'm gonna throw something out there. I know the 17th, the district is closed, it's a holiday, just throwing out there. Would it work to do interviews that day?
Isn't that Bismarck Travel Day?
Oh, yeah.
I would cancel the Bismarck trip to get this done. That's how much of a priority I think we need to put on this search.
I would agree with you, Robin.
I agree.
Okay, so if we did that, what does that do for us? Would that open up?
it opens up the 18th.
Didn't Nikki have to be in Bismarck for the 18th and 19th for state board?
Again,
Yeah.
we're talking about priorities.
I mean,
here.
Nikki, I just am really feeling like we're gonna need to have some flex. I mean, I know that you just got elected and it's super important, but like, we're gonna have to have some flexibility with that week.
Yeah, and the 17th does work, the 20th and 21st work. The 19th afternoon works.
Okay,
The week before, I've got a lot of flexibility. The week after, I've got a lot of flexibility.
Well, the week after, we'd be looking at on-site interviews, so we definitely want all of your.
okay, so Nikki, you said the 19th in the afternoon works?
Yes, we're done at 11:30.
She'd have to
But
join
she-
virtually, which you could.
What if we did the evening of the 19th? Did it give Nikki enough time to?
She was booked up.
She
I
said
thought.
she has
I've
other
got
things.
multiple conflicts, but
Is that something that can be, I mean, can you make this a priority on the evening of the 19th?
I keep trying to look at that to see if I can do it.
And then Ally, you said you can do the 20th. Is that the day you can do until 2:30?
Till 2. I just dropped a note to our director here to see what time everything would start. Okay, so I need to be there by 4 p.m. so I can push until all the way until 4
On the 20th.
on the 20th.
Would you want to book the entire day on the 20th? For
20th, wide open for me.
Molly and Dan, what about a full day of,
I think that's our
virtual
only option.
semifinalists?
I think that's our only option. Are you okay with that?
Yep, I can go until 4 as long as I can. I'll have to, I mean, it's just right over here at Shields, so it's not like it's far, but
We
Thank
could
you.
start like a 7:30. I mean, we
will-
don't know how many semifinalists you're going to have, right? So we're wanting to make enough room for, a good number.
so this is I'm sorry, we've talked about a lot of different things.
Yep.
So 7:30 in the morning until 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and this is the 1 hour board interviews that are going to be, the candidates will be virtual, right?
Correct.
Yeah, and we
That's
will all be in the same room. And it is an executive session, so
Okay.
That's why we would like to have everybody in person in the same space.
Perfect. The 20th is all yours.
Dan and Molly, thumbs up.
Oh, we're not gonna be the problem children in this.
She's like, I'm looking at all of you guys.
We will be there.
Rest
And
of board, thumbs up.
Yeah. And
Yes.
if we started at 7:30, we could do an hour each, and that would give us time to debrief and have that discussion. If we had potentially 6 candidates.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
February
So then we look
13th,
forward.
just to review, February 13th, 8:30 to 12:30 to determine the semifinalists. February 20th, all day to interview those semifinalists. Check and check. Very good. So then Molly, then we'd be looking at that next week for onsite.
Yep. And so we would need 3 days on site. Because we were having that meeting on Thursday, the 20th, we still have that weekend to kind of buffer. But what I would really like to do is if we could do the 25th, 26th, and 27th for on-site. Does that work for everyone?
We have not noticed your 2025 meeting schedule yet. So if you'd want to move your regular meeting on the 25th to a different time to open yourself up for the 25th and 26th and 27th, because I already know what somebody's going to say. We have a board meeting on the 25th. We have not noticed your regular schedule yet.
I think we need to prioritize the superintendent search.
Yeah, if we have that flexibility, we should consider it.
And if I could jump in really quick, we have a lot of districts that will do a board meeting before bringing finalists in, and that way your community gets to hear from you all what the next couple of days will look like and what to expect, and it really helps with that transparency aspect. So if you could, having that board meeting on the 24th, I think would be beneficial for your community, but that's just a suggestion.
Is anyone against moving the regular meeting to February 24th to accommodate the search?
I like that idea.
No.
Totally
My
cool.
question is, on the 27th, are we talking a full day?
Well,
Well,
are we doing the
The longer
bookends?
day.
yeah, so, but in terms of the board commitment, right, this is when we're interviewing the candidates in person. So you would need to be there in the morning for the morning interview,
sure.
and then we have the board social, like, at the end of the day. So the actual, like, you don't, as board members, we don't have to be available every second of the day.
Because refresh me, Nikki, is that a cheer weekend? You have to go that weekend?
That's the weekend we go to Dallas, so I'm feeling like, because we perform Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so we'd have to travel on the 27th, but late in the day.
But she
The
could,
problem there, though, that we're gonna run into is the 27th, after that last interview, is when we'd wanna meet with you all to determine and have that discussion and ultimately identify who your candidate would be.
like, do a special
And that
meeting
is-
on Friday morning?
We could do it Friday morning. We would prefer to do it the night of, if everyone's not too tired, but we could do it Friday morning if.
I
but
think
we
it,
would need everybody.
Yeah, I would
Would
get,
the interviews work on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday?
it would be hard to turn it around from
Oh,
the
okay.
20th to the Monday. Nikki, could you join a meeting on Friday morning to determine select the candidate virtually?
That's a great question.
Would that be an executive session?
No, that is public meeting.
Because if we're not traveling, I need to look at that. If we're not traveling Thursday, we'd be traveling Friday. I don't know how that competition works. We don't have all the plans for that yet.
I mean, Nikki, is there any way that you can just make this a priority?
Well, it's a national competition. It's not for me, and I'm beholden to everybody else. Yes, I would love to make it a priority. I just don't know what the scheduling is yet. We don't find out till closer to. That's why I'm just trying to be cautious.
Are you able to book your own travel plans, or is it something where you have to travel with the team?
I can book our own travel plans. It's a matter of when I have to have my athlete there. I'm trying to look for the schedule now.
I mean, I think ideally if you could fly out or if you could commit to being with us the 25th, 26th, 27th and the morning of the 28th.
Right. I don't know if they perform the 28th or not. The performance days are Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I don't know when our teams perform. If we perform Friday, I wouldn't be able to do that. If we perform Saturday, yes, I can send her ahead. Oh, shoot. Oh, they don't have the schedules posted yet.
I think maybe my question is if there is a conflict, I mean, would she be able to travel with other family members or other teammates and that you would leave Friday afternoon so you could be with us Friday morning?
I'm hoping so. I don't know that because I don't know when anybody else is traveling yet. Let's just plan on it. I don't know. I don't have answers. Let's just plan on it. I'll just have to figure it out.
Okay.
At this time, we're talking February 25th through the 27th, on-site interviews for the finalists, special board meeting February 28th in the morning. That would typically last, Molly and Dan, correct me if I'm speaking boldly, but maybe an hour to 2 hours to determine the finalist.
You're great. Are you sure you don't want a job with RNA?
This board might revolt on you. Careful there, Molly.
I need to be careful.
Start at 8 bells, 8:30. What time works best for the group?
8:30.
8:30 after drop off. 8:30
please.
special meeting of the board. 8:30 February 28th to determine finalists.
If I have to do that one virtual, is that doable on the
Yes.
28th?
Yes.
That's to
Okay.
determine the finalist, right?
To select your finalist, correct.
Okay.
So I have a favor to ask Anne Marie. I quit writing this down. So will
Yep.
you send
Let's
the invites?
yes, I will. Yeah, we will get an updated schedule, but this is so correct me, Molly and team here if I am wrong. We have settled on February the 13th from 8:30 to 12:30 to determine the semifinalists. Then we'd meet again on February 20th, looking at all day, schedule yet to be determined depending upon how many semifinalists you select, but booking on your calendar 7:30 to 4 that day to meet an executive session virtually with the semifinalists you select. Then the week of February 25th through the 27th. So the right now Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, finalist interviews. Those are all day affairs, not for you guys, but the finalists would be scheduled for that. Then Friday morning, February 28th, 8:30, special meeting. That is, like Greg was asking, that is a public meeting, public session where you would determine your finalist.
And then move the board meeting to Monday night.
Correct. Thank you for that. Then we would move our regular board meeting, February 24th, same time as usual, 5:30.
So if we need a motion for that,
Well, yeah,
Does somebody have to repeat all that?
No, I just think you could say, move to approve the superintendent search timeline as amended.
I'll try.
Go ahead.
I move that we approve the superintendent's search line as amended.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion from Robin and a second from Namal. Any discussion? All right, let's do a roll call, please.
Berklin,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Day,
Yes.
Gullickson,
Yes.
Jason Nelson,
Yes.
Kristen Nelson,
Yes.
Robin Nelson,
Yes.
Olenberger,
Yes.
Christensen Meinier.
Yes. That motion passes 9-0. Thank you, everyone, for conversation. Moving on to number 5, application approval. So the application, the application here is in front of you. And then Molly, do you want to tell us a little bit about this?
Yeah, so this is, I've got it, can you guys see the screen with I've got the application pulled up?
We cannot.
The back room will flip it.
Okay, never
Bill,
mind.
Can you flip
Just a
to
second.
show the screen, please?
It's not the one that's printed out
Is
here
it?
for
Yeah.
us.
It
Yeah,
is.
we have
it's
it
We have it in
here.
front of us.
Oh, okay, then that's fine.
perfect. So it's a pretty standard application. However, Anne Marie and I did work together to kind of pull from what we did last time, as well as make sure that we were checking all the legal boxes. So you'll see the application starts out with just their contact information, talks about their current position, comparison of their enrollment, budget, um, annual base salary, and then staff. Then we talk about their educational record. Then we ask about if they hold a license, if they're eligible, if they've verified it within North Dakota. And then the legal question we talk about is the veteran status. And so Anne Marie and I work together, and we have that completed on here where it's a clear yes or no, just so we have very clear when we're screening and vetting, and also for you all when you're reviewing. We ask about if they speak any other language, talk about leadership opportunities, employment experience, references. And then in here in the background check, this is where we also are checking some legal boxes where we're talking about not offering sponsorships, and then fair and equal hiring practices. We then get into some questions that are pretty standard across the board. They're just asking if you've ever been dismissed or fired, resigned, ever been convicted of anything, had any license revoked or suspended, any investigation, involved in any litigation, or had a grievance or complaint of any kind against them. And they do have the ability that if they check yes on any of those boxes, that they can explain or even attach an explanation. And then down here is just the electronic signature that they will complete stating that everything is correct. And then they will also be uploading a cover letter, 3 to 4 letters of recommendation, their resume, and then that form if needed, if they select the yes box on being a veteran. With you all looking at that and knowing that Anne Marie and I kind of worked behind the scenes just for comparison and making sure all legal boxes are checked, is there anything on there that stands out or that you would like to see? I will let everybody know, as part of our practice with Ray and Associates, we do not ask ethnicity, gender, or pronouns on an application. We want everyone to have equal footing, and it's just part of our process. So is there anything pending that you see missing or would like to see on the application?
Just some clarification here. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, just wanted to note that the application was reviewed by our human capital team and Tara Brandner as well for any legal compliance issues as well. So just wanted to make you aware that we had that internal review as well.
Perfect. So question number 3 says, have you verified your eligibility with the state of North Dakota? This is for the superintendent license. To me, it's kind of, that's a vague question, and it would just be, what are the requirements for North Dakota? And we should just have those on there. You know what I mean? Like, we're asking if they verified their eligibility. I mean, what is the requirements? I guess I don't know them off the top of my head. But
Let's see if Jeff, I don't know if Jeff or Molly.
I will tell you, we put that question on every application for a very specific reason. We want the candidates to be accountable for
Absolutely.
checking to make sure that they have everything checked on their end. We can't be responsible for everybody checking what they have. If it's somebody coming from Iowa or Minnesota, we put some accountability on them to make sure that they are eligible and that they are speaking to the appropriate people, because different things will translate across state lines. And there's a district, we didn't do it, but I'm sure everybody knows which one I'm talking about, in the Midwest, where somebody did not have certification, stated they could get it, and it turned into a major lawsuit. This covers that base to make sure that candidates are doing their due diligence, doing their homework, and talking to the appropriate people to make sure that they are prepared and ready.
And they would just reach out to ESPB.
Okay.
Correct. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Greg?
You mentioned that the candidates will be able to attach a resume. Would they also have the option to instead attach a CV? I just know because we're looking at people who potentially have like a PhD in research, which would be more for a CV.
Absolutely. Yep, they can attach either or.
Robin?
I move that we approve the application for superintendent of schools.
Second.
A motion from Robin, second from Namal. Any other discussion or questions on this, in the application? Okay, Anne Marie, can you call the roll, please?
You bet. Clark,
Yes.
Day,
Yes.
Gullickson,
Yes.
Jason Nelson,
Yes.
Kristen Nelson,
Yes.
Robin Nelson,
Yes.
Olenberger,
Yes.
Berkland,
Yes.
Christensen, Meineer.
Yes, and that motion passes 9-0. Okay, next up we have advertising options, and I believe that is also in front of you, and so you can see it says suggested, and then there's some lovely highlighted stuff, and so I'm gonna turn that over to Molly to explain this to us too.
Yep, so I will just forewarn everybody, I'm a nerd when it comes to the advertising and need data, so I apologize in advance. So you will see a whole bunch of opportunities on this sheet. I highlighted the ones in yellow that we recommend from our experience and what we've seen turned around. That doesn't mean we cannot do the others. I just want to be conscientious of spending. We don't mark anything up. Everything is exactly what we pay for. You would have receipt documentation when submitted. But with looking at this list, we'll start off with AASA. That's just a national publication. You cannot go wrong. I joke around that it's kind of the Bible for superintendents. They have several different options. You can do an online posting for $409, or for $599, they offer a job flash package where not only is it posted for 30 days online, but then it's emailed out to their database, which is over 5,000 superintendents. We have seen wonderful results with that. That's kind of my holy grail one that I would, if you don't do anything else, that's the one that I would strongly recommend. And that's $599. The next one that we're looking at is Education Week, and that's $495, but that is no cost to you all. We include that in our base fee. We have had excellent results with Education Week. That's another national publication. And we believed in it so much. During the pandemic, we had a lot of districts not wanting to spend any money on advertising, and they only wanted to do free opportunities. We saw our numbers took a huge hit with that. So we strongly advocate for Education Week, but so much so that we include that in our base fee. It's no charge to you all. So we would still encourage you to take advantage of that opportunity. Then the next one is National Alliance of Black School Educators, NAPSE. It is a national publication that reaches all across the country, and we've seen great results with that. It's great for getting the word out. It's great for increasing your quality of candidates, and that's $330 for an online 30-day posting. And then we have our Association of Latino Administrators and Superintendents. It's $250 for a 6-week ad online. Again, another wonderful national publication that we have seen great results with that I would strongly recommend. Then we get into National Association of School Superintendents, also known as NASS. It's free, but we've seen great. It's not as big as the national publications that I mentioned before, like AASC or Education Week, but their networking capabilities are wonderful, and it helps just circulate the name out there in the opening a little bit more. Of course, our website, which I mentioned, traffic increases substantially during Christmas break. And then the ones for North Dakota, we would ask the district to post just because it is free because you are in the district. If I tried to post it, they would charge me. But it's the North Dakota School Board Association, North Dakota Association of School Administrators, and North Dakota Association of School Business Officials. Those are the venues that I am recommending for you all to take a look at and consider for advertising. Down below, you will see other optional advertising, and these aren't bad. They're wonderful. I just don't see the results that we get from those above. And there's a couple on here. If you look at, for example, there is district administration website. You will notice the wording talking about the $99 for a power post is the exact same as AASA. They use the exact same platform. The database is the exact same. So it's not worth wasting your money. And more candidates go to AASA. That's more people are registered and subscribed to that website. Not to mention they send out that 5,000 plus email. So I would recommend saving your money and not posting on district admin. Strictly go on AASA. The other interesting one is the AASPA. They use the exact same database as AASA as well. It's not the same platform. It's not the same format, but it is the exact same database of folks that are seeing what's coming in their inbox. So it's up to you all. I know a lot of people do, as candidates, go to AASPA, so you may get a handful more that you wouldn't reach, but you also need to outweigh if that cost is worth $350 or not to you all. School Leadership 2.0 is $149. I honestly just don't see the results with it, so I don't think it's worth spending the $150. If you want to do a full national search, there is Career Builder, which is an affiliate of USA Today. It's $384. It's national. A lot of people know USA Today. And 10 years ago, I would have told you we absolutely need to advertise with them. Now, I just don't think it's worth the money. I think you are checking enough boxes with a national scale of the specialized websites that focus on administration and superintendents with AASA, Education Week, NAPSI, and ALIS. I don't think it's worth spending that money. But I do want to open up the table for discussion. I know I talk fast. I get in my little head sometimes. So if there's anything you want to clarify or go over, I'm open to responses. I guess at this point, I'll shut up.
Okay, Robin? Thank you, Molly, thank you.
To start the discussion, I'd like that we approve the suggested advertising options for search advertising provided by Ray and Associates.
Okay, can you use, yeah, thanks.
Second.
So we have a motion from Robin and a second from Namal. Any discussion? Robin?
When I added up the suggested ones, and of course, we hired you as a consultant because we trust you, we're just south of $1,200. The amount of money that the board saved or the district saved due to, I'm going to say it, Anne Marie's preparedness was about $8,000. So I think that we should go through with the suggested items.
Any other questions or comments? Use your, yeah, Namal?
Yes, so I agree with Robin on this. As I said, I'm sitting here as a diverse person on the board. Just looking at this and what Molly said, I totally agree with her, and I'm gonna trust her on this, and to make sure that we get the great superintendents who's gonna wow us all, and that we're not gonna be disagreeing on it. And I'm just gonna go by this because I think that is definitely highlight a lot of things that I was questioning, and where we're gonna advertise this and what we're gonna do. And I think we'll go with this. I'll go with it. If any of you have any more question, welcome.
Thank you. Allie?
Quick question. So you had talked about not checking for ethnicity, but yet we're doing we have two postings on specialized diversity group searches. So I'm just wondering, in terms of cost and everything like that, are we going to find candidates at NABC versus AASA? I mean, are they not subscribing to both of them if they're subscribing to one versus the other?
Yeah, Allie, can I answer that?
Yeah.
So I would say, from my understanding of a search process, when we're looking to make sure that we have a diverse field of candidates, a lot of that comes down to advertising and making sure that we get the job post in front of the right people. And so that's what we want to do by adding in the NABC and ALAS. I mean, it's possible that they're subscribing to other ones, but that's typically, from my understanding, the best way to get a diverse pool is to make sure that you're actually getting the job post out in a diverse way.
And that's one of the reasons why I didn't ask any more question, because I figure, since we have two of these in here and other ASA job bulletin, bulletin and website, I figure, that count with IamDiversity.com and diversity issues in higher ed and others, so I figure that's why I didn't ask those questions, because I figure it cover most of these questions regarding equities and diversity.
Okay. Anne Marie?
Just want to mention too, based on all of your decisions you made last week, a promotional flyers being made. I have Tyler on our team, a graphic designer, working that into a promotional flyer that Molly and team will be able to use to advertise this position. Also, we will be making a short video, kind of like a little bit of a commercial that we'll have to be able to use for promotions. In addition, Molly will be working to update that position description on our position on their website, and we will get links to Molly about our district overview video, the policy governance video that administration and CEA worked on. So we'll have a lot of materials that we'll be able to use in this search to promote the school district as well.
Do we have further questions? No? Okay, let's go ahead and do the roll call, please.
Day,
Yes.
Gullickson,
Yes.
Jason Nelson,
Yes.
Kristen Nelson,
Yes.
Robin Nelson,
Yes.
Olenberger,
No.
Berkland,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Christensen, Minear.
Yes. Motion passes 8-1. Okay, and that now takes us to our Q&A session. So obviously I think this meeting's taking a wee bit longer than we had intended. So I'm trying to be mindful of that. In terms of the Q&A session, I would like to suggest that we not get into the weeds when it comes to the interview process or the interview questions, because we do have a meeting with Ray and Associates right during that time. So we can really delve deep into that process then. But I think questions related to where we go from now up until then are very much welcome in this space. And I know, Molly, when we were talking, when we met, one of the things we mentioned is maybe have you talk about a little bit is if candidates reach out to you as board members right now and ask you questions, go ahead, Molly. What do we do if people start asking us about the position or how to apply or telling us they are applying or want to apply?
Yep, you just want to direct them back to us, or if you want to, you can just give us their information and we will take it from there. We want everyone to be treated the same, and we do that obviously for candidates to feel comfortable, and we want that equal footing for everyone, but we also want to protect you all. And that's kind of our job as a consultant, is playing buffer. So we don't want you to get stuck on a phone call with a candidate and start asking questions, especially if it's an internal. And then if that person gets moved forward, we get into that gray area of, was it preferential treatment? Was there a bias? Was there a personal relationship? We want to avoid that at all costs. So we encourage you to use Dan and I as a neutral party and as a buffer. Same thing if a community member bumps into you at the grocery store and they are asking about the process, or they want to know, or they have a question about this or that, I would encourage you all to have a statement ready to go talking about the current status, which would be in our weekly updates that I'll be sending to Anne Marie. But that if there's questions or concerns about the search process, direct them back to Dan and I. That's what we're here for. That will be in all the advertising. So everything that's going out, including the communications that Anne Marie mentioned, where if there's questions or concerns, it comes back to our email. It comes back to our phone number. We encourage you to take advantage of us. This is stressful enough for you as a board member. You don't need to add more stress onto your plate. That's our job. You all are lucky enough not to do this every day. We do. This is our wheelhouse. Put it back on us. And the same thing goes for you all too. If something is stressing you all out, and Robin, I'm going to pick on you just because you've been through this process before. that if you are stressed out or you are concerned about something, I don't want it weighing on you. Call us, email us. You all have my cell phone number and Dan's cell phone number. I'm a mom of 4. You can text me at any time. I'm going to answer. There's questions, concerns. We don't want you all to stress out, or if there's something that you just want clarification on, that's what we're here for. Again, we do this every day. Our job is to help make this easier on you and help facilitate it so that it's not as stressful as what it could be. But if, going back to what Anne Marie mentioned, if anybody comes to you as a candidate or as a community member suggesting a candidate, just say thank you. We'll get that information to the consultant and they'll get back to you. That's our job.
Thank you, Molly. Do we have any other questions for our Q&A session? Anne Marie? Can you just, Anne Marie? Oh, Allie, okay.
Sorry, I was looking down and I didn't
It's
see
okay.
Anne Marie had her hand up. Question around because the interview groups will have different community groups. What is the process and the steps that you guys are going to be taking to put those different groups together? Because obviously they're going to have to adhere to that week of the 24th, through the 27th timeline for those in-person interviews. You guys will be putting those together, and how I just kind of want to understand the steps that you guys are going to take to do that.
I'm going to turn to Anne Marie to answer that.
Okay.
Yeah, so I will work when we work to have volunteers or people on that, they'll know, especially since we have it so concrete right now, they'll know in advance, these are the days, this is when we're doing it. If it doesn't work with your schedule, thank you, but this is when they're going to be. I would share with you in the past for that community group, again, since we know so far in advance, we'll be able to reach out to those community members and say, hey, we'd love for you to join. Here are the days, here are the times. Could you make yourself available? In 2018, we had really good luck with that. We had our partners from, like, for example, the city, the parks, the police department, some of those great partnerships with us that were able to make that work in their schedules. Again, because we're looking a couple months out, and they were able to clear their schedules to take part. So that's a great thing about being so prepared. We'll know in advance, and then they just know that that's the time that they'll be held.
Thank you for that. I know that I've had a couple teachers and people that have wanted to reach out and wanting to be a part of the process. I just wanted, so we just direct them to you, or when can we expect to start soliciting for those groups, I guess?
Yeah, great question. If you want to send them my way, I'll put them on my list of people who have volunteered. And that was one question I was going to ask the group at the last board meeting. The board directed the ad hoc committee to work on some of these things. So I'm wondering if the group, by consensus or action if you want, would still like the ad hoc committee to work on that and even start maybe compiling those search questions, so that when we meet on, too many papers in front of me, the day that we're talking about semifinalists, that some of that is already in the hopper, so it can move your guys' conversation along a little quicker. I'm seeing head nods.
You know what might be helpful, and I think it's a public document. Has the rest of the board seen the proposed schedule for the day, for the full dayers?
I did send out our
Current.
one from 2018, so you guys would all have that in your email. Yeah.
That cleared up a lot for me.
Yep.
when I looked at it.
Question.
Yes, Namal?
I don't want to ask too many questions, but anyway, I have a question. I understand that Dan and Molly, you both are gonna be the one that generate the question that gonna be asked to the superintendent. No, we are.
We basically determine that
Okay,
as a
good.
board, and they will make suggestions because this is their area of expertise.
Yeah, I just wanted to clear. I just wanted to make sure I understand too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, so can I just jump in really quick?
Sure.
So there's a couple opportunities for that, which is really exciting. So I believe we still have the questions from last time that you can look at and consider. We have a set standard template of questions that are available to consider. And then as Dan mentioned, we're going to be doing those one-on-one interviews with each of you. You're going to have an opportunity to suggest interview questions at that time as well. So when we get to that semi-meeting on the 13th, you're going to have all these suggested questions, and you ultimately get to decide which ones you do want to ask of the candidates, both for first round and for second round.
Thank you for answering my question.
Yep. Do we have any other questions?
Did you need a motion for this question that you had, Anne Marie, or just our head nods are good enough?
I think consensus, and at the last board meeting, you all directed the search committee or the ad hoc committee to keep working on that stuff too. So I think we're good. For me,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm good. Okay, any other questions for our Q&A session? Okay, I'm going to close that Q&A session then, which takes us to number 8. So we are at 9:55 a.m. Thank you very much, Molly and Dan and Anne Marie, for leading us through this conversation. And our meeting is adjourned.